Colin and I just watched Dune, and we're gonna do kind of like a mini bonus episode just to give our own review, our own thoughts on the movie. Colin read the book. I did not read the book, so there will be no book spoilers. But just initial reaction and what we thought of the movie Dune. Oh my,
Atreides!
oh my God.
So, got my whole outfit on today. Got to take out my my water possessor. I got my spice too here. I'm just ready to roll today, man. Talk about this fantastic movie.
Oh my God.
So, cheers, everybody.
Yeah,
Today I'm drinking some repossessed water of my own.
I have regular water.
Not exactly what we want, but we'll take it, Shawn.
Mhm.
We'll take it.
Yeah,
But here we are, House Atreides, big fan. Big fan.
yeah.
So let's talk shop. Let's talk about this movie. Right off the bat, Shawn, tell me what you original reaction, because I know you didn't read the book beforehand and you liked it enough to read the book. So I'm saying you probably liked it a decent bit.
Yeah, I liked it. I was extremely drawn in. Um, I mean, right off the bat, I was just like filled with questions because
Yeah.
you knew that there was some kind of special power thing going on with the voice. Um, you knew that it was like there was some like outer space type thing, like planetary travel and stuff, and something big was going to happen, and whoever it is, Paul is possibly a chosen person, chosen whatever. Um, so it was just like so much going on that I was really curious about, and I was super excited to learn about it and just like get into the movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think right off the bat, the opening was it was pretty friendly. I
yeah,
wanted to know because I read the book, right? So I kind of knew everything that was going on before it started. Like they give like a ton of detail about the spice and things like that. And that I felt like it would have been so confusing if I didn't read the book in advance. So it's cool to hear your opinion and like your view because you're more of their like main target consumer.
yeah. Well, it's just like I just had like a million questions right away. Like
Yeah.
and sitting down, I was like, this is gonna go in a million different directions right now. There's so many things that I have no idea what the point is or why it's going on.
Yeah, and I think that's different than a lot of movies that come out today.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, because I feel like typically their audience isn't trusted to be smart enough to understand what's going on.
Mhm.
So movies will like put like a word block in dialogue in advance and explain everything.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought this one, I mean, you saw Zendaya for about 10 seconds
Yeah.
and she explained everything a little bit, which I thought was good. I was curious because this is actually the second making of this movie. So David Lynch, if you're familiar with him, he's a director. He did Twin Peaks. That's like what he's best known for,
Okay.
and like Eraserhead. But he made the movie in the 80s. So I checked out like the first 10 minutes of it, and that is the whole first book in like one go. So like 10 minutes in is like heavy, like they're it just going in, explaining everything. They're like, all right, like here's what's going on, here's
Uh,
how it is. It was like really cool to see the difference in how they kind of did it, but at the same time, it not being like just a block of text.
yeah. No, I think they did it well. I think it was good. I mean, like I said, like it drew me in more because I was curious. If they came right out and had like very like out of touch dialogues about like the spice or about like tension among like whatever it is, like the emperor and stuff, and whatever's going on
Yeah.
on the planet. just it would have been like a little bit weird. Like it made sense. It was like you were there, you were right in Paul's life and going through it with him.
Yeah, so I thought the opening, it was pretty confusing on how, like, I just rewatched the opening again too. It was so good. With Paul and the whole voice thing, I think it was really interesting because in the book, it's kind of just like, honestly, like a Jedi mind trick,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's kind of like, oh, these are not the droids you are looking for. Oh, these aren't the droids I'm looking for. So I thought it was interesting how they did it, just because it was like you could tell there was something mystical in it,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Do you think that there was enough information about the Bene Gesserit going into
No,
it?
I want to know more. There
Yeah.
there was enough for me to have like some understanding of what they are, and because I just started reading the book too, I really don't know a lot about them still. But
Yeah.
you you understand that they have that power of the voice. You understand that they have a lot of political power, and that also being said, like you feel like they're like a force that's like way more powerful than it seems, and
Yeah.
everybody knows about them. So like the weight of being one of them is understood, but like you don't know a lot about them.
Yeah, no, which I feel like is good to a little bit, but also it takes away from like the level of her being like a witch. Like like basically she can like see the future, like she can like there's like a ton of like crap that Jessica and the rest of the Bene Gesserit can do that they just kind of like skipped over, I felt like.
Mm,
But it wasn't necessary for the story. It
no,
just is like an added layer, which I feel was really good.
yeah, I mean I would want to know more about them, but also like that kind of plays into
But
the fact
where?
like what
Like where would you learn more about them? Like during the movie, like it wouldn't fit in anywhere.
that's what I mean. Like it only works if you learn more like in later movies.
Yeah, or like something needs to happen that you need to learn more about them. It can't be
Yeah.
like, well, here they are, bred only women pretty much, and then if there's a guy, he's the Keezer Sadarak or something like that, and that means he's basically God. And
But yeah, I think, but I think that works though too because like the small amount of details that you kind of learn, you're kind of learning at the same time as the main character is.
yeah,
Because it's so like that's why it feels okay because you're like very clearly from the start on the journey with him, and it's like you can tell that he's learning about everything that's going on, and as he learns, you learn too. Because he doesn't know what's going on with the trial in the beginning, putting his hand in the box.
yeah,
Like you don't want backstory on that. You like experience it as he does.
yeah. You have no idea. You're like, oh, his mom's here, and then his mom's like, this woman's like, get the hell out, and he's like, oh, she's like, okay, sorry, and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
who is this woman that is so powerful and just kicked out the woman that everybody else has been afraid of?
Yeah.
Um, which is like, I thought it was really cool. How far have you read in the book?
I've literally only read like 10 pages.
Okay, because there are like a few subtle differences. And
Mhm.
I think I mean, you probably already started to pick up a lot of it is like in internal narrative. So you can hear what the people are thinking.
Mhm.
And so like during the box scene, right?
Yeah.
He's in the book, he doesn't make a noise. And that's supposed to like symbolize that like if you don't make any noise, like you're like super powerful, right? Like you're not supposed to scream, you're not supposed to show any weakness.
Mhm.
But in the movie, it's really difficult because you're like, how can you show that?
Yeah.
Because like
Exactly.
in his head, he was having that internal battle of like, oh my god, like this hurts. It feels like my hand's burning off. It feels like it's really cold. It feels like it's turning to ash. But you can't unless you're gonna do a voiceover.
Yeah. Exactly.
And a
No,
voiceover, like those are very difficult, I feel like, to pull off well in a movie.
yeah, I agree. And I don't know. I did notice that already, and that's why one of the reasons why I wanted to read the book because like I knew there had to be so much left out.
Oh my. So yes, there's like a whole like plot point that is cut out,
Oh my God.
which
I'm
I'm
ex-
very interested to see because it's an important plot point. So I'm wondering how they're gonna bring it into the next one.
okay.
Um, I
I'm
was talking
excited
to
to figure out
my
what it
friend when I
is.
saw the movie with him, and he read the book, and I was just like, how are they gonna skip this? Like it's huge.
Wow.
Um, but I guess they'll just round back to it later.
I feel like what else I'm expecting too from the book is like the relationship aspect between everybody is I think it's going to be better conveyed. That was one of my criticisms of the movie.
Okay.
I felt like it's hard to tell like how much they care about each other, you know?
Yeah. So in the book, you can tell that the Duke is
Mhm.
like hopelessly in love with Jessica. Like he loves her, and like even though she's technically his, I think it's like a consort or something like that, where they're not like married to them.
Uh-huh.
He's like, yeah, like she's like my number one. Like I trust her throughout everything.
Mhm.
Um, and I just feel like that didn't really get put across as well.
No, I didn't get that
Um,
conveyed.
but again, you're in like a 2 hour and 45 minute movie.
Yeah.
How much more like there's a lot you're trying to squeeze in.
Mhm.
I honestly thought they could have cut the movie when they got lost in the desert.
I did
And
too.
I think they should have been found by the Fremen, and
Mhm.
that's where it should have ended.
Yeah. Like I don't think so that's my other criticism. Um was the ending. And I get it. It's gotta be like
Yeah.
some like I
This is just the beginning. All right,
yeah
Zendaya, chill.
yeah exactly like it was cool, but like after they got lost in the desert, that would have been the best part for it to end, or when they get found. But then like after that, I was like a little bit frustrated because then they start like going into like continuing the storyline, and I'm like, I've been watching this for more than 2 hours. Like we're not getting any resolution no matter where you go right now.
Yeah, it's like you just introduced a shit ton of people that aren't gonna be like I have to get reintroduced to them again in 2 years when the next one comes out. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's why it was just like it was so hard like staying emotionally invested as it went on like that.
Because you just realize you're like, this is just
Yeah.
it's so long.
I'm like, we're either going, it's either got to be a 4 or 5 hour long movie, or it should have stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like kind of abrupt. Also, like major things happen when you're reading the book. Like that battle was so symbolic
Mhm.
in how it was done. And like they barely mentioned the fact they were like, oh, like is he toying with him?
Yeah.
But it was like, no, Paul actually doesn't know how to fight somebody without a shield on, or he hasn't done it before in a while.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
so yeah, so that's why he was fighting a little bit weirder because he's not used to it, and he's also never killed before.
Yeah.
And like, so not really a spoiler, but his mom comes up to him at the end of the one scene, like after he kills someone, and she goes like, "Well, how does it feel to be a killer?" And and you're like, "Holy shit, his mom is stone cold as fuck!" Like, oh
Oh my
man,
God.
she really just laid into him because she wanted, she's got to instill like she's training her son to be
Yeah.
this special guy, so she's got to make sure that he like check your shit at the door, bro.
Mhm.
Um, and I feel like a lot of that is kind of like left out because they didn't want to make her look like a bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like that's one of the things that like as I was watching, I was like, stuff has to be left out. Like there are moments that I feel like should have more weight, but they don't really. Like you can tell like they were trying to build some type of relationship with Paul and his mom.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel like the weight of the relationship that I think they wanted us to, or that we
Dude,
should.
in the book, they get lost in the desert for like 50 pages.
Oh my God.
Like they are lost in the desert for a while, and like their relationship is like really tested in the desert. Like his shit gets rough. Like it's brutal because he's like, "Yo, mom, like we can't make noise or like the sandworms will eat us. Like we got to be." And then like they did like a little bit of it with the drum stand and things like that, but they didn't cover like there's been like different like landslides and shit that happen, and they had to like work together. And but I was like, are they gonna show all that? Because honestly, right now at 2 hours and 30 minutes, this isn't the action that I need in my life.
No.
I'm like that kind of closing action wouldn't cause a resolve. So I'm glad they kind of cut it because they realized they couldn't use it.
Yeah.
Um, the whole movie though, unbelievably visually stimulating.
Oh yeah. I
Every
love.
frame, dude.
Yeah.
Every frame.
It was amazing, and I love like the fighting scenes too and everything. Like the combat was great. Just you're right. That was one of the best parts about it.
So I'm curious, where did you watch it?
I watched it on my subscription to HBO Max.
There you go. I watched it in IMAX,
Okay.
and I would say the IMAX trip was definitely worth it.
Oh, I bet that would have been
Just
amazing.
because, like the sound, like when the sandworm like ate that the spice vehicle, when it like ate that, it was like, and like you could feel like the whole. So I thought that was really awesome. Do you think this will like bring back people into the movie theaters? Yes or no? Well, you watched it on HBO Max, so maybe not.
I don't know. Well, so I would have gone to a movie theater if invited, but also at the same time, I was kind of like I watched it on a Sunday night,
Yeah.
and it was just kind of like I want to watch something to finish the weekend and relax. Like, let's put this on. Like, I was 100% excited to see it, and if it wasn't available on HBO, I would have gone to the movie theater to see it.
Okay. See, that's
So,
fair.
like, I 100% would have gone pretty early. I either would have gone last weekend when it came out or this weekend sometime. But since I could watch it at home, it was just like,
Comfort of your
why
own
not
house.
pour a drink and have it watch it?
Yeah, which makes it like it's almost like it's more convenient for me to just sit at home and watch it.
Yeah, like I don't know.
I knew it was gonna be like the shit, so I was like, all right, I gotta see this in theaters. Like I gotta see it on the IMAX. Like it's worth paying the extra just to see it in like that big screen view.
Yeah.
Trying to think of like the fight scenes were incredible. You like Duncan, Idaho?
Who was that?
Aquaman.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, so this is what I mean by the relationship thing. Like Paul and Duncan, right?
Yeah.
Like you could tell that they were trying to convey some sort of like serious like affection for each other. Like they cared a lot about each other. They were like brothers, right? Because every time they saw him, Paul would get super excited and everything, and they'd run at each other. But it was like almost random because there was nothing to build up that relationship. Nothing was like I had no idea what they had been through together or anything at all. It was just like he was over the top excited every time he saw him.
He just did his like training. I think they
Yeah.
were just like, because honestly, I didn't even pick up on that like to the level that they kind of made it seem like during the book. So I was like, everybody just loves Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Like they just love him. So they were like, yo, let's just make Paul love him too, because he's honestly a total badass.
Uh-huh.
And they had to know they were gonna kill him off, right?
Mhm.
So they were like, well, we're only really killing off like one or two characters. So let's make it so like when he dies, like you're sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's what I mean. Like I feel like it was kind of forced.
Yeah. I mean, but like they had to force it though. Otherwise, you'd have just been like, I mean, that was a pretty
You're
cool
right.
dude, yeah, but he's dead. Like, oh well,
Yeah,
on to the
you're
next one. Um, but yeah, I thought his scene was incredible. His
oh yeah.
like battle to the end and just getting like stabbed a bunch of times and then was like, nah, I'm not dead yet. just straight up like, oh, like coming back like Halloween style, just popping back up. It's like, ah, loved it.
Dude, it was awesome.
Dude, so good fight scenes.
Oh yeah, the fight scenes were amazing. You know what I love? I saw this online. Somebody like tweeted it or something, but they were like, Dune was awesome. What I don't understand, spaceships, rockets, those like protective shields that just warp over your body, all fights are swords and knives.
I got you on this one, Shawn.
Yeah?
So they have laser guns.
Okay.
But if you shoot the laser gun at a shield, which they mentioned during the they mentioned, I don't know, I thought it was a scene in the movie, but maybe I'm wrong. It was definitely in the book. If you shoot a shield with a laser gun, I think the gun explodes. Or the shield explodes. Like they do like opposite reactions, so it explodes like crazy as hell.
Wow.
And like big, huge explosions. So they can't shoot laser guns at each other because if they're wearing a shield, it would kill like the person that shot.
So my first thought to counter this is why wouldn't you just have a bunch of snipers, right?
The shield would stop the bullet.
The what?
The shield would stop the bullet.
Does it? It doesn't like explode with like the laser?
No. In the original, like the fight scene where he's with Gurney Halleck, who also, fun fact, played Cable in Deadpool 2. They explain, and so this also goes back to Paul's fight at the end of the movie. They explain that shields, the only way to go through them, like it bounces off if you go quick, but if you go slow, the shield turns red, and then you can kill someone. Because it goes through the shield if it's slow. But if it's fast, it bounces back.
Okay.
Which is, during Duncan's fight, you see that a lot, like where he's fighting and then he'll have like a slow push kill.
Yeah.
So that's why they're using swords and not guns.
I see. I understand. Now that was good.
Right? I was like, all right, that's good. People were pissed about Zendaya though. Like really mad about the fact that she was not in the movie like at all.
I mean, I kind of thought about that. I kind of thought after it finished, like, why was she even in it? Like,
She's a big deal in the next one.
She's gonna be like a very main character in the next one. And what do you think? They're gonna try to make it a trilogy?
No, because so the book's divided into 3 parts.
Yeah.
This is like almost the end of part 2.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and then
2.
Huh?
So then you think it's just gonna be 2?
Yeah. I think there's 900 pages in the book that I read, and this was like 750.
Oh wow. Okay.
But there's like a lot more action in the second half. So, or it might not have been. It might have been like 550. But anyway, like it was over halfway, like well over halfway. Where it got split, it was like halfway through or over halfway through part 2. But what's interesting is part 3. There's a time jump. So I'm like, are they gonna skip right to the time jump?
I don't know.
Because like you can't. Wait, what are they gonna do? 10 minutes of like, hey, welcome to our crib. By the way, we never did like your naming ceremony for killing that guy. What's up? You know what I mean? Or are they just gonna go, okay, time jump, here's what you guys missed. Zendaya does a little voiceover for 5 minutes. And there's like a little quick like time thing.
I don't know what they'll do. I still like. I wouldn't be surprised if they made it a trilogy. I feel like that's what everybody wants.
Well, so the second book is I think still about Paul. So wouldn't be surprised if they just leaned into the next one.
Yeah.
They're gonna try and make a ton of money. I think there's like 15 books in the series or something ridiculous.
There's a lot, because when I was like looking up, I just like Googled it. I was like Dune book to read, and then all of these things came up. Every result was like, here's the order to read all like 9 of the books that are all like 500 pages plus.
And you're like, ooh.
I was like, whoa, I really just wanted to figure out what happens at the end and like kind of experience what I missed.
Yeah.
Not like I didn't realize that I was committing to like several hours of months worth of reading, you know?
Yeah. Oh no, you're right. There's literally just a
There's so many.
shit
And
ton.
and then there's like so there was like 5 or 6 like main storyline books, but then there's like all these other books,
The
same
Tales of
author.
Dune.
What?
The Tales of Dune. The
Yeah.
exploration of Dune continued.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's like mini stories that can be fit into the main storyline that are written in books, and it's just like, holy shit.
Um,
I mean, I get it. I was so interested in the world and everything going on.
yeah. So speaking of the world though, I don't know, did you get the importance of water?
Of water?
Yeah, in the while watching the movie.
Nothing out of the ordinary. Like you need water to live.
In the book, you'll find out.
All right.
Like literally like their suits like collect their
Yeah.
perspiration. So like
Yeah, it's
water
like
is like well, I mean they kind of like pressed on it when they said like the guy spit at the Duke.
oh, yeah, you could
Like
tell that there was weight to it, but I thought that was just like it's a desert planet. There's not a lot of water, so you got to conserve every part of water possible.
yeah, that's like kind of it, but like to like a whole nother level of it being like almost where they worship water. Like they call like blood the water of life. And
Wow.
like you share the water of life. And like if you kill someone, you get their life water. Like shit's like wild.
Oh, they did say something like that.
Yeah. So which is a whole nother thing that they're not really covering because right at the end when he kills the dude, like it's technically his life water, but they just skip that. So
Yeah.
is that something they're going to cover in the next one, or?
I don't know, man. I don't
Yeah.
like that's what I mean. Like I don't like I feel like there's so much left. Like if the movie is like an hour and a half long, I feel like I'm gonna be ripped off when it comes to resolution. Like I just don't I'm not understanding how you
Yeah.
can wrap this up quickly.
You're looking for a Dune extended cut.
Yes, exactly.
I'm sorry, I need 5.5 hours just on the first movie, and then I need another 5.5 for the second one, please.
I mean, it left you questioning so many things. Like I'm so curious in like what's going on with like the politics, all this stuff.
Yeah.
People are like, whose side is the emperor on? Like he's having people backstab the duke, like
Yeah.
it's just we're going in a million different directions while there's this whole like I don't know, like the actual people of Dune like that live in the desert, like that's a whole world. There's that whole space world going on. There's the Ben Gesserits that
Yeah.
like what is this, you know?
So do you think Paul is the Messiah?
Yeah,
Okay.
he
I'm
might
in,
not be.
I'm interested on what you think while you read the book because the book gives it a very different twist where
Mm.
it's like is he or isn't he? Where in the movie I felt like it was just like nah, he's the Messiah.
Well, I mean, just the way that I'm thinking about things, it's like, why would they make a movie about a guy who people think is the Messiah and he really isn't?
Okay. Yeah.
Like I was like, what a letdown this whole thing would be. Like he tries to lead them all, and then like, wait, what if he's not the Messiah? He gets in there and it's just, and he's trying to lead them, and then they find out some other dude that's really doing some Messiah-like stuff is out there, and he's coming to help them. What do they do? Just kill Paul? Like this guy lied to us. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean that could happen. uh, it's like very different, and in the book you'll see the Dr. Liu or whatever the heck his name
Yeah,
was, the traitor.
yeah,
Uh, he gave Paul the Freeman's Holy Bible, which they didn't even cover in the
really.
movie. Yeah. So you'll see, and he gets to read their Bible. So when he meets people and he says certain things,
Oh my
And
God.
like in the movie, he said certain things, and they're like, when he come, he said he would bring water, and he was like, yeah, like I got some water in my bag, and they're like, oh shit, he said he was gonna bring water. And as he's saying, he's like, when he comes, they said he'd bring water, and he's like, yo guys, I got some water, and then they're like, oh shit, and he's like, got him. Like,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Well, so what was like really interesting to me about the movie was when they touched on how it was planned that the Messiah would come.
Yeah, so they go way deeper into that, right?
Like that's one of the things that I'm so excited to find out about.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was telling you right there. So yeah, you'll really like it because the book goes way more in depth into like, is he really the Messiah, or is it a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Yeah, I get that. And also like, because in one, it's an insane idea. Like the fact that somebody like thought that up to just write in a book that like there's this population of people that are like very politically powerful and they have special powers and they're going to plan 1,000 years in advance, basically write a Bible, give it to these people that a Messiah is coming, right? Like that's insane, that concept.
And it's like low key to take care of their own people too.
Yeah.
Like they're like, yo, if you ever get trapped on this land, like there's like a prophecy that there's, someone's gonna get trapped here and end up becoming the Messiah. So basically, you're gonna get trapped there, and they're gonna think you're Jesus. Like hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Something the movie didn't really touch on. It does like take place just in the future. Like it's not like another universe, another. I guess it would be probably another galaxy, not another universe.
Yeah.
Um,
But no, it's the same timeline that we're in.
yeah, but they're like, yeah, space travel changes religions and stuff like that. In the back of the book, there's like a whole excerpt on like how the religions changed once space travel became invented.
Yeah, I'm
Stuff like
excited to
that.
read that. There's like a pretty big like index type
Yeah,
thing.
the index and appendix.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, dude, I really thought the movie was incredible.
Oh yeah, I was so into it. I'm so excited for the sequel.
What is your rating, Sean?
Wait, what scale have we done before? Out of 5 or out of 10?
We do it out of 10.
All right. I'll go like 8.3.
This is a 9 for me.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa. And
yeah.
go ahead, explain.
All right, so one, we got our art. It was just beautiful,
Yes. That's true.
beautiful. The fact that people like you who haven't read the book
Hmm.
could understand what was going on, I think adds to a whole nother level of it. Because if you were able to pick up what was going on, it loses one on length. I am sorry,
Yes.
too long. Like I had to pee. Took away from my viewing experience because I was like, ooh, I need to pee. Like I'm gonna have to get up. Am I gonna hold it? What am I gonna do?
Oh man.
So when you had to pee, it takes away from it. And I was just like, oof, this sucks. Will I rewatch it? 100%. Would I recommend it for a friend? 100%. So 9. Best movie I've rated so far.
Yeah, it is.
Um, and
I agree
then,
with those points too.
huh?
Go.
No,
I
and I just think there were like a ton of really good character scenes.
mm,
And I loved like you're kind of able to see Paul grow a little bit.
mhm.
And like, yeah, I mean, I also loved all of the cast, like incredible cast.
That's true.
So like everybody there was like really good actor. So
Oh, I agree completely.
all right, your thoughts?
I think that I agree with basically everything you say. I was just it's the ending for me. The length and the ending. I like it was almost like when we after they're lost in the desert and it starts going into whatever the next like plot arc is there. I just really lost interest fast because not that I didn't want to find out what happened, but I just knew wherever this went, I was getting no resolution or solution to anything going on.
But you have to admit it was like dope fight scene right before the end of the movie.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, I loved it.
But that's when I was like, wait a second, is this over? Or are they about like it? That's where I feel it would fit a great way to start the movie at the next one. Like it would have been a perfect way to start it. Like you go right in, heavy action scene, and you're like, we were right where we left off. Like you'd be picking it up right there.
Oh, that's true. I wouldn't be surprised if they redo the fight scene too for the first part of the next movie.
Like as like a brief transition.
Yeah, but like I don't want to see the same thing twice.
Yeah, I don't think they do that. I don't know because if it ended as the fight ended, maybe they would like slowly like pan in or do it from the other guy's perspective or something. But like they were just bouncing around the desert like, hey, we're about to go to our little secret hideaway.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing we didn't even mention is they did a gender swap.
What?
Yeah. So Zendaya's dad was supposed to be the leader, not Zendaya's mom. The planetary specialist.
Wait, did I meet her in this?
Yeah, the planetary specialist, the woman that like died like in like a heroic way in the sand.
I didn't know that was her mom.
Oh, they had the same last name, bro.
I didn't pay attention to that.
Well, it was supposed to be her dad.
Wow.
And I mean, it doesn't really change anything.
No.
But I just thought that was really cool.
That is cool.
That they were just like, oh yeah, gender. I was like watching the movie. I was like, I thought that was a dude. But I guess it was a woman, and I read it wrong. And then like I talked to my friend who also read the book at the end, and I was like, no, that was definitely a dude, right? Like he was definitely a dude in the book. So I thought it was cool. It was a nice little swap up.
That is cool.
What do you think about the blue eyes?
I liked it.
I thought it was dope.
Yeah.
I like so fucking cool.
This is just a random touch that I was into.
Yeah. I was a huge fan of it. Yeah. So anything else?
I don't know. Go watch the movie if you haven't seen it.
HBO Max or IMAX? No
Those
in between.
Only two options that exist.
Well, I mean, you could go to the theaters and see it, but at that point, just shell out the extra $10 and see it in IMAX.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
If you're gonna be cheap and you want to like see it for basically free, do that. Like if you're gonna be monetarily saving, or just ball out and see it in IMAX because YOLO.
It's worth it.
It's worth it.
The cinematic experience looked amazing.
Yeah, and imagine like I'm sure you were like, well, maybe I should have seen it in like theaters or in IMAX because it was wow.
Yeah, I would definitely see the next one in IMAX.
Hype. 2023, they officially announced it, by the way. December 2023, I'm pretty sure.
Oh god. Hey, that's killer. That's why I got the book. Because when I looked it up at the end, I was like, okay, when's the next movie come out? And when I watched it last week, it wasn't even scheduled yet.
Wasn't confirmed.
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Like, what am I gonna do? Leave me hanging like this? So.
All right. Well, that is what you should know about Dune Part 1 by David somebody, Vanilla, something like that.
I don't know.
The director. It's something. So I have to get his last name.
All right.
I'm not gonna find it. It's of course. Yeah. So by Dune 2021. There you go. That's what you should know about Dune 2021. Atreides. Cheers.